In this unit, you are going to learn about the verbs to have and can, the possessive case of nouns, possessive pronouns, and the question word whose. Firstly, we'll study the English for the verb avere, to have. Have is used to indicate possession in formal speech and writing, and is almost always used in American English. The present simple is I have, you have, he has, she has, it has, we have, you have, they have. In general, these forms are used in full in affirmative sentences. They are not contracted. I have a car, not I've a car. The auxiliary do or does is used in negative sentences and questions. The negative forms are I don't have, you don't have, he doesn't have, she doesn't have, it doesn't have, we don't have, you don't have, they don't have. The interrogative forms are do I have, do you have, does he have, does she have, does it have, do we have, do you have, do they have. To form short answers, follow the rules for short answers for other verbs in the present simple tense. Do not use have in short answers. Use do or does in affirmative short answers. Yes, I do. You do. We do. They do. Yes, he does. She does. It does. And don't, doesn't, in negative short answers. No, I don't. You don't. We don't. They don't. No, he doesn't. She doesn't. It doesn't. In British English, in informal speech, to indicate possession, have is followed by got. Using got after have does not change the meaning in any way. The present simple is I have got, you have got, he has got, she has got, it has got, we have got, you have got, they have got. Contracted forms are I've got, you've got, he's got, she's got, it's got, we've got, you've got, they've got. Remember that the apostrophe S after he, she, it represents has, not is. The negative is formed adding not after have. Here are the full and contracted forms of the negative. I have not got. I haven't got. You have not got. You haven't got. He has not got. He hasn't got. She has not got. She hasn't got. It has not got. It hasn't got. We have not got. We haven't got. You have not got. You haven't got. They have not got. They haven't got. To form the interrogative, we place have before the subject pronoun or noun. Have I got? Have you got? Has he got? Has she got? Has it got? Have we got? Have you got? Have they got? The affirmative short answers use only have, not have got. Yes, I have. You have. We have. They have. Yes, he has. She has. It has. As short answers, yes, I've and yes, I've got are mistakes. The negative short answers use haven't, not haven't got. No, I haven't. You haven't. We haven't. They haven't. No, he hasn't. She hasn't. It hasn't. As a short answer, no, I haven't got is a mistake. Both have got and have can be used to indicate possession. Have got is not frequent in American English. In British English, it is used. For ownership, I've got a house in the country. For relationships, I've got one sister and 2 brothers. I've got a lot of friends. I haven't got any children. For ideas, I've got an idea. For illnesses, I've got a cold. I've got flu. I've got a sore throat and a headache. We use have in the following expressions. Have a shower. Have a bath. Have a swim. Have breakfast, lunch, supper or dinner. Have a snack. Have a nap or take a nap. Have a walk or take a walk. Have a holiday. Have a baby. Have a good time. Have fun. When have is used to indicate activity and not possession, as it is in these expressions, negative and interrogative sentences and short answers are formed using the auxiliaries do and does. Let's look at these examples. What time do you have breakfast? I don't have breakfast. Does John have lunch at home? Yes, he does. And when have indicates not possession but activity, it can be used in the continuous form. For example, John can't come to the phone just now. He's having a shower. Now, we are going to look at the possessive case of nouns, called genitivo sassone in Italian. When do we use the possessive case? The general rule is that it should be used only to indicate possession by a person or animal. In other words, it cannot be used indiscriminately to replace of when things rather than living beings are involved. There are some exceptions. In English, there are always exceptions. But before looking at these, let's see how the possessive is formed with a group of nouns. It is the noun that refers to the person who has something that is placed first. Possession is indicated by adding apostrophe s to this noun. The definite article is not used with the second noun. In the noun group, the car of my sister, the person who has something is my sister. Thus, using the possessive, we say, my sister's car. With plural nouns that end in s, we add the apostrophe after the s. The children of my friends. My friends' children. Remember, it is the first noun that answers the question, who has? So the meaning here is I figli dei miei amici, the opposite of what you would expect in Italian. With plural nouns that do not end in s, we add apostrophe s to the noun. The friends of my children. My children's friends. When we have two or more nouns, we add apostrophe s only to the last noun. The friend of Tom and Mary. Tom and Mary's friend. It is important to use the s genitive when you can. Noun expressions like the books of George, the dog of Mary, simply do not sound like normal English. Say, George's book, Mary's dog. However, the possessive cannot replace of in noun groups where there is no relationship of someone who has something. Saying the teacher's sandwich for il panino dell'insegnante is correct. Speaking of un panino di prosciutto as a ham's sandwich is a mistake. You should definitely use the genitive with people and time expressions. In other cases, when in doubt, use of. There are 3 more points that will be dealt with in this lesson. The first of these is possessive pronouns. These are different from the possessive adjectives you have studied. Instead of modifying a noun, a possessive pronoun takes the place of a noun. Sentences with possessive adjectives are: Is that your book? Yes, it's my book. In these sentences, your and my modify book. Sentences with possessive pronouns are: Is that book yours? Yes, it's mine. In these sentences, yours and mine take the place of book. It is also possible to use the s genitive in this way. It's not mine, it's Mary's. It's my sister's. It's the teacher's. We also use the s genitive to refer to names of shops and professional people's places of work. The butcher's, the grocer's, the doctor's, the dentist's. In these cases, it is understood that we mean the butcher's shop, the doctor's surgery. House can also be omitted after a possessive noun. Jane's means Jane's house. The Savini's means the Savini's house. These are the possessive pronouns. Mine, yours, his, hers, ours, yours, theirs. The pronoun its is not used. Let's look now at the use of the question word whose. The meaning of whose is di chi. It can be used before a noun as an adjective. Whose car is that? Whose books are on the table? It can also be used as a pronoun followed by a verb. Whose is that car? Whose are these books on the table? When whose is in a sentence with a preposition, in informal speech and writing, the preposition normally comes at the end of the sentence. Whose car are you going in? The preposition only precedes whose in more formal language. In whose car are you going? The last point studied in this lesson is the use of the verb can for the verb potere. Can has no change in the third person singular, so the affirmative is I can, you can, he can, she can, it can, we can, you can, they can. The negative is cannot, which is written as one word, not two. The contracted form is can't. Thus, the negative is I cannot or I can't. You cannot or you can't. He cannot or he can't. She cannot or she can't. It cannot or it can't. We cannot or we can't. You cannot or you can't. They cannot or they can't. The interrogative is formed by placing the verb before the subject. Can I? Can you? Can he? Can she? Can it? Can we? Can you? Can they? Affirmative short answers are yes, I can. Yes, you can. Yes, he can. Yes, she can. Yes, it can. Yes, we can. Yes, you can. Yes, they can. Negative short answers are no, I can't. No, you can't. No, he can't. No, she can't. No, we can't. No, you can't. No, they can't. Can is pronounced in different ways, depending on where it is used. We distinguish between the strong form can and the unstressed weak form can. In short answers, it is pronounced can. Yes, we can. When followed by another verb, its weak form can is used. Can, I can type. Can is always followed by the base verb, the infinitive without to. It has several meanings. It is used to make requests. Can I have a glass of water? Can you tell me the way to the post office, please? Can I close the door? To give orders. Can you close the door? Can you be quiet for a minute? To ask for permission. Can I speak to John, please? Can I sit here? To give permission. You can sit here if you like. To offer help. Can I help you? Can I get you a cup of tea? To describe skill or ability. I can sing and play the piano, but I can't play the guitar. He can ski very well. To describe what is allowed. In Italy, you can drive when you're 18. 16-year-olds can't drive. Can you drive in Britain when you're 16? To describe a general possibility. It can be hot in Rome in the summer. Can has no infinitive form, so after verbs which require the infinitive, it must be replaced by verbs that do have infinitives. When describing ability, we use to be able to. I hope to be able to visit Greece this summer. I would like to be able to ski. However, you should avoid using to be able to when it is possible to use can. That is the end of Lesson 5. Now you can do the exercises on the grammar points presented in this unit.